When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Tech4Troops Cup Series Championship event here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Rick Sousa here with John DeRudris. And John, this is it. This is the end of Season 5, and it all comes down to this event.
It does. It's one race now between four drivers for the championship. And Rick, I think this is probably our most competitive championship race of all time. I mean, we have four drivers that can easily finish 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think it's going to be a matter of who can win. I think it's going to come down to that. Looking at our four championship contenders, Van Scoik, Lowe, Peters, and Worrell. So Peters, we'll see if she can go back-to-back, our first back-to-back champion, or maybe somebody new steps on to the top of the IWM, the Tech4Troops Cup Series here on the IWM Broadcast Network. Well, we got about 10 minutes left to practice, but I believe we're going to try and get some interviews with our final four championship drivers.
Yes, absolutely. Let's first cover a few of the housekeeping items. Let's talk about the race, and then we'll try to grab those drivers before they start getting off to their respective headspace prior to the event. For
sure. So 88-degree temperature outside, 93-degree track temp, not too bad, with a 5% humidity, so not going to have to worry about the weather too much. 125 laps for you all tonight, 50 miles per hour down pit road, no quick repairs, 3 sets of tires, 60% fuel, and 3 green-white checker restarts is what we have for you tonight in the championship race for the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Rick, it's going to be a good one. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. All right, and also let's cover our driver standings just to refresh everybody's memory. Right now, it all comes down to 4. Chris Worrell, Lilith Peters, James Lowe, and Chuck Van Scoik will be watching those drivers tonight. And as you watch on the screen, you'll see that their names are highlighted in blue. Those are the 4 finalists. Whoever finishes the best, don't have to win, but whoever finishes the race ahead is absolutely going to be right there, will win this Season 5.
Yeah, I think it's anybody's game. I think, you don't have to win, but I think it's going to come down to who can win. It's very possible to see our 4 contenders finish 1, 2, 3, 4 tonight, barring any issues. So we'll see how that plays out here with just about 8 minutes of practice. And practice is so key. It's essential for running well. And looking at the top of the board, your championship contender, Chuck Van Scoik, is leading the practice times. So we'll see what he's able to do as this race starts to unfold.
Well, as you know, it's not just about drivers, it's also about teams. And these drivers have been battling back and forth in teams since the beginning of the season. Well, after last week's race, it all came to a head, and we were happy to announce that the team championship has been awarded. So for this season, Team Rocket Racing, and that is Chris Worrell, James Lowe, Chris Howell, and Scotty Grove, were able to win this season's team championship.
Yeah, they've been up at the top of the boards. I mean, all race, 2 of them are championship Final Four contenders. So it doesn't surprise me that they won the team championship. I think it just shows, how good that team is. At the end of the race, almost every week, you see the 06, you see the 07, you see the 88, and Scotty Grove has been running up there somewhat consistently as well. So congrats to them. We'll see if, they have a 50% shot tonight to win the Drivers' Championship. So, 50% is better than 25. So I'll take those odds.
Absolutely. All right, and we'll get to the keys. Let's see if I can try and find a driver or 2 to kind of bring them in and talk. Let's see if we can grab Chuck Van Scoik first. Let's see if we can move him to the broadcast booth. Hey, Chuck, can you hear us? It's John and Rick in the booth.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, we're just trying to catch up with you before the race and just want to kind of get your thoughts as to what's your strategy for today's race.
Survive, I guess. I know I'm fastest right now in practice, but not good at this track. I can, it's almost like a road course for me. I'll get comfortable and then I'll push it a little too far, and then the way I go. But it's just, like I said, survive, try to keep pace, not burn the tires. Key here is going to be qualifying. Hopefully I can match that time in qualifying and kind of try to control the race being up front. But other than that, it's like I said, survive and stay out of other people's problems. It looks like we're going to have like mid-20s, maybe high 20s tonight. I think the last time we ran here a couple seasons ago, it was a caution fest, so I just gotta keep my nose clean and keep it all the 4 wheels going the same direction.
All right. Well, congratulations for making it, and hope to chat with you at the end of tonight's race.
Yeah, thank you.
You got it. All right, that's Chuck Van Scoik. Let's see if we can find Lilith. Let's see if we can locate Lilith here. There she is. Let's see if we can bring her in the booth. Hey, Lilith, it's Rick and John in the booth. Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, hi.
Just want to say good luck to you tonight, and wishing you well, and we'll hope to hear from you at the end of the event.
Thanks. Hope it's a good one to watch.
Absolutely. All right. Well, again, good luck to you, and we'll catch up with you. All right. That's Lilith Peters. I think we caught her definitely off guard there. All right.
It happens. You're in practice, you're trying to focus, or you're getting your game plan, and next thing you know, you're up in the broadcast booth with us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's see if we can grab Mr. Chris Worrell. Chris, you're in the broadcast booth with John and Rick. How's it going?
It's pretty crazy so far. Spinning out middle of turns here, fighting with my teammates, trying to practice.
Well, maybe that's just a good sign. Good things to happen.
I hope so, man. I'm gonna need it. I've been down in the dumps here, been sick, and oh great, this is funny. Can't wait to see how we get raced tonight. This should be fun. This should be really interesting there, Rick. Just by looks of practice, but
Well, it is
anyway.
it is a challenging track. Good luck to you, and hope to talk with you at the end of tonight's event.
I do too. Hope to put this new paint scheme in a victory lane. That's the goal.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll catch up with you, Chris, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Rick.
Got it. All right. One more driver to see if we can say a few words to. James, welcome to the broadcast booth. It's Rick and John up here. Just want to catch up with you before the start of today's event.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're good. Are you hanging in there?
Yeah, just slightly anxious, but we'll get her done, hopefully.
Well, certainly is there's a lot of action on the track in this practice session for sure.
Yeah, this one has the looks of it might be a cluster, but hopefully not. But we'll see how it goes here, and if we have to just kind of ride around, hopefully we don't get collected or anything. That's my worst fear, is that somebody's going to overdrive a corner and wipe us all out. But hopefully not, and we'll see how it winds up at the end.
All right. Well, again, good luck to you, and congratulations on the team win. Forgot to I say that to Chris, but we hope to talk with you later in tonight's event.
Appreciate it, guys.
Got it. All right. That's James Lowe with Team Rocket Racing. Try to get a few minutes with these final 4 drivers here.
Exactly, Rick. It sounds a little tense. Sounds like these drivers are stressed. Going into this, more stress than what we are accustomed to. Typically, it's all we're looking forward to tonight. Pretty confident. Saw that out of some drivers, but some might be a little bit worried. So we'll see. We'll see what happens as this race unfolds, and we have just about a minute and 43 seconds until we get qualifying underway. So, Rick, I'm curious here. Looking at this specific race and looking at where these 4 drivers are, obviously top 4 in the league, where would you, if you were one of these championship 4, where would you want to start in this race? Would you want to start at the front, the middle, the back? Is there a certain goal? If you know you may not be strong in practice, you at least need to qualify 5th, start up at top 10. Where do you want to start in this race?
I want to start up front. I absolutely do. I don't think it's good either way to be to not be up front in this event. I think you just got to be there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. So we'll see who's going to start up front here in just about 45 seconds. Top of the board, Chuck Van Scoyk, Lilith Peters, Maxwell Caldwell, Aiden Lucas, and Justin Lewis. So 2 out of your 4 championship contenders are now 1-2. Chuck says he's not great at this track, but Rick, his lap times are telling me otherwise. So I like numbers, and his numbers are looking good right now. One thing we do have to note is, if you notice, the track's changing a little bit. This will be a sunset tonight race. You could see how crazy the sun is right now on some of these cars. Maybe we can ride around on a qualifying lap with one of these drivers just to see how they are going to face this sun. But definitely the conditions are going to change as this race goes on.
Absolutely. All right, let's get ready here for tonight's event. We've got just a moment or two before we start our qualifying. We'll see who goes out there and see if we can ride along with one of our final 4 drivers. All right, we have switched over to qualifying. And let's see who gets out there. Chuck is, let's see if we can ride along with Chuck. All right, see the lights are already on.
Yeah. Yep, he did lead the top of the speed charts in practice, so we'll see how that carries over into qualifying.
cutting the corner
All right.
there.
Yep, he's going to go all the way down, almost hit the pit wall. Going to come back up the track.
I think iRacing has updated the graphics at this track since I guess they rescanned the track.
Yeah, they definitely have. It looks up to date. Looks really nice. Here we go. This is a lap here. Got down to the fourth gear. He's going to slide. Might hit the wall. Kept it off the wall. Very nice. Chuck right there goes to the top of the board currently. Actually completely smoked his practice lap by 0.4 of a second, Rick. So,
holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, I like my numbers, and the trend is pointing in the right direction for that 23 car. Speaking of some other championship contenders, James Lowe currently is sitting third in qualifying. We are currently waiting for the other two drivers of the 06 Chris Worrell and the 01 of Lilith Peters to hit that. James Lowe just went P2. As we speak, Chris and Lilith have not made times as of yet.
Yeah, they've just got 2 minutes left. No, I'm sorry. They've got 3 minutes left before qualifying is over. Happens pretty quick here. It's not a very long track. It's just over a mile.
And since we're talking about that, thinking about how long you can go on fuel, since it is a mile track and 60% fuel, Rick, they might be able to make it just under halfway with this, doing my math. I don't know what your math says, but mile track, 60% fuel, I think they could make it anywhere between 55 to 65 laps.
That sounds about right. Okay, Lilith Peters. So all of our our four have found their way to the top five. Just the one interloper there is the 50 of Justin Lewis, who finds himself on top.
Which he's been running a great back into the season, Rick. It's absolutely unbelievable to see what that 50's been able to do. But just like I talked about in the pre-race, still in the pre-race, you had to be up at the front. I think the final four will finish up at the top of the boards, and here we go. 4 out of the top 5 are those 4 championship contenders, and that just proves that these 4 drivers, at least now, are the best, and they're getting hot at the right time. So we'll see how we have the running order up. See the 15 slides.
Well, he stays off the wall though. That's good for his qualifying. I think that's everybody. I think.
I'm looking right now. There are a few drivers who have not made time. David Watts, Aiden Lucas, and Christoph Hall, but we still have about a minute left, so you could still get it done.
Or they may just choose to start at the back of the pack. That's not unusual. This is the championship event. We've got 24 entries tonight. That's an excellent turnout for tonight's event. I'm sure that they just want to do their best to just let those guys who are competing for a championship be successful. You never want to be the guy who wrecks somebody out.
No, you don't. That's a position you never want to be in. You are correct, and it has happened. We've seen it happen before, but it's a matter of this hard racing, and Phoenix is one of those tracks right there. You see the words "dog leg" on the wall. It poses somewhat of a challenge. You have to make a decision every single lap. It's not like a mile and a half where you hit the same marks every single time, and you stay above that white line like most mile and a halves. Here at Phoenix, you have a big choice. You go down to the dog leg and cut it, or do you stay above that line? And oftentimes, drivers are not on the same page. And oftentimes, you see some drivers slide up the track and get each other going into the corner. So we'll see what happens. But Rick, I think we got the lineup ready for tonight's championship event here from the Tech4Troops Cup Series. See if we can bring up that starting lineup for the final time here in 2024.
Okay, we are beginning to see these drivers grid up. Let's go ahead and bring up our grid.
All righty, let's do it. Here we go. The championship race pole won by none other than the 06 of Chris Worrell, with Chuck Van Scoyk, championship contender number 2, starting in second. Justin Lewis starting in third, with James Lowe, the third championship contender, starting in fourth. Will Peter rounding out your top 5. Those are your final championship contenders right there, with Maxwell Caldwell starting in sixth, Garrett Johnston starting in seventh, Aaron Jackson in eighth, Andrew Pileshi and Justin Horton starting ninth and 10th.
All right, Sammy Harrell finds himself in 11th with William Corinne in 12th. In 13th, you've got Chad Jones. 14th, Christopher Howell. 15th is Ty Bostic, and 16th is John Ledger. In 17th, Greg Stone. 18th is Jeremy Flanagan. 19th is Philip Vandertwick, and 20th is Zach Allen.
In 21st, you have Marco Berube with Aiden Lucas, Christoph Hall, and David Watts not putting up time, starting in 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
All right,
Rick, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I actually am as well. Waiting for all these drivers to pop in. Great shot of the grid up here. You can tell if you look at that shot, you may notice that the graphics have gone incredibly. They're much more realistic. iRacing released a massive update just recently, and there's a lot more realism and reflections happening on these cars, and pretty impressed.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most impressive updates that we've seen to date. Too bad we don't have much grass here. I think we don't have any grass. We won't be able to see how the grass affects the track. And what we're referring to is if you go off track on a course, you will kick up dirt, marbles, gravel, grass onto the track, and it'll affect the cars that run through that. I ran a race the other day in the Formula 4s, and let me tell you, you don't want to get gravel on your tires right before a braking zone, because you're not going to brake. Really quick, Rick, let's see if we can bring up Mike 3 keys for tonight's race, because we're going to get this race, I think, going fairly quickly. Looking at key number 1, it is going to be pit strategy. Number 2, tire conservation. 3, patience. Don't really have to explain those very much. You have to have all 3 of those here in this race to be at the top of the boards by the end of it. Well, Rick, here we go. Sun is setting in Phoenix. The sun is setting on this championship and on this season, but the race is just starting here for the final time. Green flag in the air. Tech4Troops Cup Series Championship is underway.
And if you're familiar with our broadcast and watching Chris Howell Chris Farrell out front, and you're looking for that blue and white Fender paint scheme, his sponsor tonight is Zildjian Symbols, and he's in a black and white paint scheme out in front in that 06.
He brought out the new paint scheme. Maybe it'll intimidate some drivers here tonight. We'll see how that goes. But right now, he leads lap number 1. Justin Lewis in second. Peters, James Lowe, and Chuck Van Scoyk make out your top 5. We see some drivers on the back mixing it up side by side.
Yeah, a lot of side-by-side action amongst the drivers back here. You see the 22 of Ty Bostic up under the 43 of Sammy Harrell. That's the 5 of Greg Stone. Huge run for him.
Absolutely. Great run. Oh, John Ledger sideways in the middle of turn 1, and we have a caution out on the track. He's still sideways. Oh, we are still wrecking here. Gets into Aiden Lucas.
Say Justin Horton has spun 18.
Yeah, we'll see what happened with that number 18 Zen Camaro. Here he goes into turn 1. Gets a little loose here. Loosey-goosey. Spins it right around, and that brings out caution number 1. David Watts, great evasive maneuver there from David. As we see him go to the bottom side of the track.
All right, so our first caution comes out here pretty quickly at lap 4 for a single car spin, although I think also John Ledger may have spun as well, but that was not what brought the caution out. right.
Rick, that kind of settles the nerves just a little bit.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to breathe, I'm sure.
And then when we stack them back up, it'll be all chaos again here because it's still early on. The tires are still, trying to heat up. We only have 4 green flag laps on these set of tires, so we'll have to see where this race takes us. But Rick, we are quickly actually setting into the sunset. Currently, the track time is 7:42, so not too far off from our time as the sun is quickly setting here.
Yeah, in fact, if you see on the screen, we've got, so how iRacing does this actually takes a point in time in the calendar and applies that the actual time of sunrise and sunset directly to that. And so this is on May 15th of this year. This is exactly how it was in Phoenix.
Let me tell you, they've done a great job here. The sunset is beautiful. Sky looks gorgeous over the Phoenix Mountains. Take a look. As you can see, the lights are starting to come on here. Look at that. I mean, that's gorgeous. I mean, they did a great job.
Absolutely.
So there it is. All right, we're getting ready to get back under green here. Pace car has its lights off. Had some cars on pit road fixing some damage, but they are able to get back underway. And if you're new to iRacing or NASCAR, we would love for you to hit that subscribe button and share if you're just tuning in for the first time, because we want to grow this community and share this as many people as we can if you enjoy it. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate that we're going to have a green flag here right now. It looks like green flag back in the air from Phoenix. The 06 of Chris Roll gets a great jump now as he dives into turn number 1 here in a second. Side-by-side racing all the way through the back and 3 wide going into turn 1.
Yeah, that dog leg is right after the start-finish line. It wasn't that way always. It used to be flipped the other way, but with that there, these drivers have an option. They could either stay up on the racing surface or they could dive down lower into that dog leg. It's a fraction of a second faster, but it will take its toll, and it does upset the car when you come back up.
Yeah, it's really used in early run speed. Long run speed, you're not going to really find it that much, and you're going to upset the car. And sometimes, depending on if you're running, which we don't run in here on the Tech4Troops Cup Series, but if you run an open set and you run those tire pressure too low, you could destroy the bottom side of these cars. So, but no worries there tonight. You see the 23 trying to go to the bottom of the number 50 of Justin Lewis. Down into turn 1, not... Oh, he actually was able to get a great run off the corner, but the 50 had a better run. Now as we make our way to lap number 10, Rick, here. Championship 4, all still in the top 5.
A little action up at the front as the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik begins to follow closely the 50 of Justin Lewis, trying to find a way around this 06. This track is tough to pass. That's why we were saying at the beginning, you got to start up front because it is super hard to get around here.
It is, and I would, this is a race where personally, I would just sit back and let everybody use up their stuff. I would play the long run game. I wouldn't try to push it too hard. Now, if I'm starting in the back, you're kind of, you have to think, okay, is that even possible? But right now, the Championship 4, they are all in attack mode. They can be in save mode if they would like, but looking at them, they are running nose to tail with the 50, the only one that's separating them. Right now, currently looking at some of the biggest movers of the race. Up 7 positions, up to 16th is the 98 of Christoph Hall. That is your biggest mover as of right now, 12 laps into this race.
Look at the back, as you can see, Christoph Hall diving up under the 48 of Philip Vandertwick. He does have the 10 of Aiden Lucas right there as Aiden takes the run off the dog leg and dives down, and Christoph stays up high. Christoph is running currently in, now that's for 15th spot.
Both of those drivers, I would say, are up-and-coming drivers, especially in the GOAT Racing family. You can see right there, they both are part of that team. So teammates battling right there. You can see, contact right there between the 10. He slides. He saves it. I don't know who he made contact with, but it was whoever is now in close proximity to Christoph Hall. Is that the 50? I don't know who that is.
Maybe Greg Stone in the 5?
Yes, I think it is Greg Stone in the 5. Yes, that is correct.
All right, back up front. Let's jump up with, see, right now, they are right on Chris Worrell's tail. That's the 50 of Justin Lewis, followed by 23 of Chuck Van Scoik, Loth Peters, and James Lowe. Oh, the 23 dives off low. What's going on with the 23? He decided to break that line and try to use that dog leg to his advantage.
Yeah, it didn't really work. It set him back a couple positions right there, as he now is dropping down to P5. So definitely a little bit of a shakeup for the 23.
That's the 91 of Andy, Andrew Pileshi right on his tail. And he now finds himself behind the 07 of James Lowe in that familiar Gamecocks paint scheme, with Lilith Peters in front of him. Foxfire Food steak sauce. And then the 50, I think the 50 of Justin Lewis is really, right now, he's just banging on the bumper of the 06, trying to make it happen.
He is, and you know, he's not running for a championship, so not at risk to Chris Worrell, but the car behind that 50 car, the 01, last season's champion, is knocking right there. So the 06, while he's probably not as comfortable as he typically is, he knows that he has just one car gap, which will ease the pressure just a tad. But Rick, we are now 19 laps into this event. The sun is almost completely down here. We are almost in complete darkness, and the brake rotors, I think, are starting to glow a little bit on that 06 on the left front. This track does pose a lot of heavy braking. You can see right there that slight orange on the 06, so we'll see what that looks like as this race goes on.
All right, 20 laps in. Everybody is still on the lead lap here. Chris Worrell continues to lead. And you know, I remember him saying on our early interview that he was a little under the weather.
Yeah, just a little bit. So that poses a whole other side of this race, that racing sick is never fun, and it can sometimes, you know, cloud your focus just naturally as human beings. So we'll see how he's able to persevere. Could we see? Could this be his version of Michael Jordan's flu game? We'll see if the 06 can do it. Right now, he is actually pulling out a little bit of a gap over the 50, something we have not seen this race. So, you know, maybe he has something up his sleeve with the, you know, paint scheme. We'll see.
All right, we should see for fuel, we won't see these guys come in if they just run end to end around lap 60, but it's a 125 125 lap event. So you really want to figure out just how you're going to stop, because it doesn't appear that you can actually make it all the way on just that one stop.
Right. I think you're going to have to stop twice. That is my estimate.
Lead change.
Oh, yep, and a lead change. The 50 goes around the 06 on lap 24. Here comes the 06 back down to the bottom. He's there going into the corner. Oh, close, but the 50 controls the race. And here comes Little Peters to the outside of the 06. 06 dives down to counter that. But Peters is back hard onto the brakes a little bit later than the 06 going into turn 1. She should have the run coming out of the corner.
It's tight up front.
I think she hit the wall, Rick.
Not surprised. We're 25 left.
Oh, contact. We're wrecking.
The 50 spins around, goes around, and unfortunately takes out the 1.
Oh, man. It looked like the 06 got into the 50. 50 tried to counter, and trouble spills for the 01 early. Oh, me.
He's got some good damage on, well, he's got damage on that 50. Let's see if we can go back and just kind of take a peek at just what happened. Watching that 50, you've got the 06 up underneath. There is definitely contact.
Yeah, and then just nowhere for the 01 to go. I mean, the 06 got into the 50. The 50 countered, overcorrected, and
so the 50 was coming down just a tad bit. Am I seeing that the same way? Watch that seam, John.
Yeah, I'm watching the seam. I'm also watching the yellow line of the 06.
He's definitely coming. Well, he's not coming. He is coming up just a bit.
Yeah,
well,
it's a combination of both.
Yep.
Yeah, combination of both right there. But tough break for one of the championship contenders, 2 championship contenders involved, the top 3 involved in that wreck.
Christian, are they coming down for tires or just fuel here?
I mean, you have 27 laps. I would think tires. You got 3 sets. Might as well use them. And what I think this is going to do, Rick, is this is going to make it to where these drivers can make it on one more stop.
Yep. But not everybody came in.
No, not everybody came in. And I think this is where you are going to see the strategy start to play in. So kind of going back to what we were saying earlier, you don't want to be in the back. Even on fresh tires, you don't want to be in the back. It's not like 1 car or 2 cars or 3 cars stayed out. Rick, I'm showing maybe 15 cars stayed out.
Oh, yeah.
10 to 15. So you have to pass 15 cars here. Even on fresh tires, that can be difficult. So I'm looking at these drivers in the back. Are they playing more of a fuel game than a tire game? They just thought might as well come down and get tires, because I'm not confident, even with 1 caution, you could make it. You could make it to the end here on 1 stop for the drivers who didn't come down pit road.
Well, the lights are off on top of our pace car, which means we're about to go back to green flag racing after our 2nd caution of the night. Pack begins a long run down on the back stretch into turn
Yes, it does.
4. It's kind of odd the way this is. If you count the dog leg as a corner,
Right.
then it's long corner into 4.
Here we go. Green flag back in the air. The 06 back into lead. But we have a little bit of a shakeup here going on from second on back. You have the 15 of Garrett Johnston, Maxwell Caldwell, Sammy Harrell, and Aaron Jackson now your new top 5.
Yeah, the rest of the guys, folks battling for the championship decided that they were going to just go to the pits, like James Lowe and Chuck Van Scoik. They all pitted on lap 27.
And the driver who is ahead of in all three of regarding the playoff drivers that pit was the 07 of James Lowe. So we'll see how his race unfolds.
Yeah, that puts him back in 15th. Correction, 14th now. He's already caught back up a little bit. So Buddy Spicer's up. We're watching him right here. He's in lots of traffic, which is always a little bit hairy here at Phoenix. It's like 3 wide with the way that the drivers are utilizing that dog leg. Chuck Van Scoik is back there too. You heard him in the pre-race interview that staying out of other people's mess is key key for him to be successful tonight.
It is currently sitting there in the 16th position. I like this strategy that these cars are on. They have fresher tires. They can make up a larger delta. I really like what they're doing as we see side-by-side racing throughout the entire field. The driver who has made up the most spots from that last stop is Andrew Pileshi. He's actually up to currently P12, so have to watch out for him. It does look like he only took fuel or took right sides, I'm not sure, but James Lowe just went around him right there. 3 wide. I think some contact as well.
Yep, there's definitely some contact going on. Right there is tough. If you got a driver with fresh tires, you're to take advantage of that, because with 3 wide here at Phoenix, there's not a lot of room for error.
You can do it, but it's definitely treacherous. Like right there with Chuck Van Scoik going to the inside. He goes down all the way trying to clear those cars. He's able to do it. What a move there by the 23. Following James right up through this field.
Yep, they now find themselves 10th and 11th here. But again, they're now working their way through drivers who have not pitted and are on older tires, 35 lap old tires. So you've got to give them maybe a little bit of some space, a little bit of room, because if something happens, they can't correct as fast as you can.
Exactly. So we'll see how they're able to get this race underway from this dual, two strategy event that we're now underway with the leaders not pitting. Some of the drivers who came down pit road obviously having much fresher tires, with James Lowe all the way up to 7th now. So it's going to be time before he catches the leader and potentially passes him. 2.8 seconds, 2.8 counting down as we speak.
Justin Lewis is back on pit road after an extended period when he was in there for repairs. I think he's unfortunately got a lot of damage he's trying to repair on that 50.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he was one of the fastest cars on the track before that incident with the 06. And one driver who has not been able to really make up a lot of ground has been the 01 of Lilith Peters. I've been trying to keep track of where that 01 has been, and that nose is caved in, and when that nose is caved in, it acts like a parachute. So definitely facing some early race drama here for that 01, but hopefully she'll be able to make it back up and challenge with the other 3 championship drivers.
Her last lap time, John, was a 28:44, which is better than Chris Worrell turned. His was a 28:64, so that's 2/10.
Interesting.
Yep, so good. That's good news for the 01. She can hold that pace.
Yeah, I'm going to compare it to James Lowe, though, who just ran a 28.1. Chuck Van Scoyk, who just ran a 28 flat. So she's on the same pit strategy as them. So I'm just curious. Obviously, she's going to be faster than those leaders. So we'll see if she is able to catch some drivers pass and hopefully get that damage fixed. Right now, James Lowe all the way up to 4th. Gap is now cut down to 1.3 seconds.
Christopher Howell has got 41 laps on those tires, even with the 2 cautions that we did have. I'm guessing he needs to come in around lap 70, maybe lap 65, maybe somewhere in there.
Maybe.
Right now, we've got James Lowe. He's got Maxwell Caldwell right in front of him, and then he can already see his teammate, Chris Burrell, out there. Just a couple cars to go through. And you can see the advantage now with fresh tires, how he is able to leverage that dog leg and the faster times he's able to turn.
Absolutely.
He's nearly half a second per lap faster. And he could end up challenging him right now for this lead.
He's there. He is there for sure.
He's under the 15 of Garrett Johnson.
Garrett's still putting up a fight. And, you know, got to think, those tires are starting to give way on the 07. So how much better will his tires be comparatively this late in the run?
And these guys are probably going to end up stopping, well, all things being equal right now, potentially at a green flag stop, which will really complicate things.
Exactly, it will.
Now, when they do come out another 15 laps or so, they'll have fresh tires and be able to make it. Well, they will not be able to make it all the way to the end, but could be close. We'll see how those 2 cautions played into their refuel stop.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see, because it's kind of a guessing game right now. I mean, can one caution help? Is it enough?
We got 2.
Yeah, so I guess 2 cautions for sure. It's tight. I think early on, I think it could. I think it really could help, and only time will tell. We'll see when they come down pit road. The magic number is 62.5. So if they can make it to 62.5, they got to go a little bit further than that on the back end of the stint, comparatively with non-caution laps, but we'll see.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. We're going to go side by side. You won't miss a thing.
Hello, my name is Jack Raymondson. I manage business development here at Tech4Troops, and I'm my 2nd year with this amazing veteran nonprofit owned and operated by veterans for veterans. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an amphibious assault crewman from 1992 to 1996. I also served in the U.S. Coast Guard from 2002 to 2007, joining after 9/11 as an operations specialist, then serving as an instructor at Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown. I also spent many years as a first responder volunteering as an EMT and fireman. I'm here at Tech4Troops because I believe in our mission to empower veterans and their families with the gift of computers and technology training, as well as our outreach to help curb veteran suicide while providing a safe and meaningful community where veterans are treated with respect and dignity. We are aiming for zero veteran suicide through gaming and other program opportunities. We help veterans regain a new sense of purpose and help them see they have a brighter future ahead of them. It truly is an honor and my pleasure to serve my fellow veterans and help give them a leg up. 2024 is Tech4Troops' 10th anniversary year, and I ask that you help us support our veterans and their families with a computer donation and or greatly needed financial contribution so we can help every last veteran in need. Together, you and Tech4Troops can be change makers. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series Championship event here at Phoenix. Right now, we're watching James Lowe out in front. James is currently leading here. Then now he and Chuck Van Scoik, both of our playoff drivers in the Final Four, did pit on lap 27. Chris Worrell was leading, but they ran him down. Now, as we were saying, a number of drivers, let's kind of bring up this graphic, see if this pit stop graphic gives us any data here. Let's see. It does here. So you can see these drivers of Lowe and Van Scoik running 1-2. They had that pit stop after 27 laps. Chris Worrell, you can see that yellow bar is all the way across. For a number of drivers, they did not pit. Really, if you look at the top 12, you know, pretty much all but a handful, all only they're out there under what they started this race with. So expecting to see in the next 10 laps or so a number of these drivers come back onto pit road and potentially do a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and we'll see if these drivers can make it. I'm very curious. Obviously, the drivers who are on that 28, 27, 28 lap run at the start who pit, they can obviously make it to the end. But now the question is, when do you pit? Because that becomes even more into effect for those drivers. Do you pit when everybody else does because you're out front and you know that cycle could be shortened, so you pick up that advantage? Or do you stay out and you're going to be better on the long run after the pit stop? That's the question. That's the game that you play. But they have an advantage on the field right now that I think the drivers who did not come down pit road would want.
Yeah, I'm just reading up some information that's coming out of the admins that there is definitely a few upset drivers there about how that whole pit stop went down. But it's racing, so just
interesting.
Deal with it and move on with it.
How the pit stop went down. Interesting.
Well, the way that iRacing, apparently there's a glitch with the way that iRacing opens pit road here. Apparently, some folks knew about it, not all of them. And when Chris went around, the pits were closed, but about halfway down where the rest of the field was, the pit opened up. So very interesting.
I wonder if it has to do with anything him hitting the line.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe.
But it is what it is. Here we are, lap 57 of 125, rapidly approaching our halfway point. We will see a number of these drivers do at some point on pit road. You know that Aaron Jackson was on pit road. Sammy Harrell was on pit road. But what you will see is that these drivers, Chris Worrell is now making his way down onto pit road. Now they will, just by the nature of this track, they'll go a lap down.
They will.
It is a long and lonely drive down pit road.
Yes, it is.
Especially under green flag conditions.
Oh yeah, it's rough. It's very rough. See the 06 now out of pit road.
There were the drivers on pit road: Phil Vandertwig, Greg Stone, Zach Allen. Chad Jones is still on pit road. Now, obviously, because of that, you do have a number of drivers who, unfortunately, they just, as the nature of a green flag pit stop, they are now a lap down. Oh, and caution has come out.
No. What happened here? The 15, maybe?
William Corinne and John Ledger.
Oh, goodness.
They both have some major damage to their cars. See the left front. There's parts and debris on the track. The whole rear end of the 81 is destroyed.
Oh, man.
And he's got tires pointing in the wrong direction. See if we can bring up that incident.
I wonder if it was a breaking point issue. Driver out of the back of another.
We're behind the 81 here under caution, and the 72 came up hard and quick. Didn't touch him. Oh, tapped him. Unfortunately, that's Flanagan. Unfortunately, sending him around.
Oh, hold the brakes. Okay, he held the brakes. Did somebody hit him?
John Ledger, potentially.
He's sitting there for a while. Oh, no, he rolls. Oh.
That's just a sad mistake there. It just happens.
Yeah. Oh, and then I love how the bumper was like, you know what, I'm going to hold on, then I'm going to let go.
Yep. That's
oh, man. Yeah, tough break for John Ledger.
All right, so caution comes out here, lap 63, just past the halfway point, which allows a number of drivers to come in, and really to the benefit of Chris Worrell, that allowed him to get his lap back. He can stay out. He came in at lap 58. He maybe if anything, he comes out just as a splash of fuel.
Right.
Maxwell Caldwell is on pit road, as is the William Corinne. I don't think the 81 is coming back out. Number of drivers getting wave arounds. We'll see how this whole field settles back out. All right, here we go. Back to our restart.
All right, the field is definitely not
formed up yet.
Yeah, I think race control is going to have to throw a caution or extend it because the field is nowhere close. Oh, maybe we're going to go green. I think we are. Green flag in the air here at Phoenix. To the 88 of Christopher Howell going down to the bottom. And we're back underway.
We're back up front with James Lowe and Chuck Van Scoik. Running 1 and 2. See the 88 of Christopher Howell just sliding up there. All these guys are on fresh tires. The only one who just took fuel only was Andrew Valeschi.
Interesting.
All right, again, we thank you for tuning in to the Tech4Troops Cup Series here in its championship event here at Phoenix. We thank you for tuning in. This series is sponsored by Tech4Troops, just an absolute fabulous sponsor, as well as Goat Racing Diecast. They've been with us all season. multiple seasons and will into our next season, which kicks off in February. We'll be running the full NASCAR schedule, nearly every race in the same order. Lots more drivers, charter systems, big prize money for these drivers. Just really the culmination of these past 5 seasons.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, one of the best seasons to date. A lot of great things coming next season. And if you want to participate in one of these series, reach out to us. Contact us on track between the 98 and the 94. All is good there. But reach out to us, and love to have you out here competing against some of the best here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series.
This little update: Chris Worrell has now found himself back up to 8th. And Lilith Peters is now around 15th. Hopefully she can get up to the front and challenge. 17 cars still on the lead lap here at Phoenix. Watching the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell as he works his way around the 72 of Jeremy Flanagan. Marco Berube in really, is that a new paint scheme for the 99?
I think it is.
Trying to look at that. It's kind of looks purplish. You know, Marco has been just one of those drivers that always comes out with the coolest metallic mirrored finish paint schemes.
Agreed. Entirely agree.
So I'm hanging with this battle back here in the back. This is really, there's just a lot of action going on.
Yeah, a lot of action right now. That is the 98 and the 99.
This is at the tail end of the field. 72 of Flanagan is right there. All right, so back up front, we'll start taking back up to the leader. So right now you've got a pretty good gap. Let's bring up that gap indicator right now. So James Lowe has got nearly a full second gap over second place Christopher Howell. Aiden Lucas is there with Justin Horton in 4th, and Chuck Van Skyke is in 5th. Our other playoff drivers, Chris Worrell is in 8th, and Lilith Peters is back in 16th. She was collected in an incident early on that brought out the caution with Justin Lewis. 4 drivers have retired. Zach Allen, the 24, the 81 of William Corinne after that incident. Greg Stone, the 5, as well as Justin Lewis, also because of that early incident. All right, that's lap 76 here. As we begin to wind down, we're past the halfway point. Right now, what we think is that they're good for about 60 laps of fuel per
run.
Per run, barring any cautions. We've already had a couple, but that may not be enough to finish the event. But it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be right there on the dot. I think it's going to be very tough for some of these drivers here. I mean, looking at the 06 right now, sitting right there in P8, came down pit road on lap 58. It's going to be
He's going to be
very
on
close.
fumes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the best driver right now are actually all in the top 5 on 62. You have one driver on 63, which is Zach Allen, still, but he's 14 laps down. So, actually, excuse me, I take that back. Maxwell Caldwell 63. So, It is all up in the air here, but that middle number is definitely 62.5. That is exactly halfway. So we are now approaching 45 laps to go. Can these drivers make it to the end? That's the big question.
Absolutely. So if you pitted last on lap 62, you came in, we think you can get to lap 60. Some of these drivers are just absolutely killing it when it comes to being able to save fuel. I'm going to jump on. Let's jump in the cockpit of the 23. Chuck has been really good about trying to find ways to save fuel. There you go. He's doing it.
Yep.
All right, so you're on board with Chuck Van Scoik. Right there you can see he is clutching it. He's pushing in the clutch intentionally, allowing the engine to spin down as he enters the corner. Right there.
Yep, it is. That's what you got to do. If you want to win this race, you're going to have to do that.
In talking with these drivers pre-race, ways to save here that if you're doing that on corner entry, then you are able to probably after every 7 or 8 laps, you can save at least 1 lap. So if you can do that for 50 laps or so, you can save yourself maybe what it takes to win. So Lilith Peters may have been, she was on pit road for a second. She may have had an incident. Go back real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really see. Maybe she slid the tires.
This is just past about the start finish line. Oh yeah, by herself.
Oh wow.
Didn't bring out a caution, just kept it going and saved it.
Shout out to her for staying on the bottom of the track and doing a great job.
All right, lap 84 is complete. James Lowe continues to lead Chris Howell. Chuck Van Scoik has slipped to 5th. Chris Morella is at 8th. Let's go see where Chris is. He's got the 22 of Ty Bosick right there. That's 4 position. And again, let's go on board with Chris, see if he's trying to save. There's no saving.
No, none at all. None at all.
No, I think he is focused on getting back up to the front.
Yep, I would agree. I think at this point you have to,
All right, 86 laps in the books as this event continues to tick down. Seeing a number of drivers have begun to try and save fuel. They've stopped already around lap 62. And if they can save a lap or two every 5 or 6 laps, they will be able to just use what they've got and make it to the end of this race.
Yep.
I'm sure if we go on board with the 07, he's doing the exact same thing.
Oh, I would imagine. I would imagine. I think at this point, you're 2 different races are going on. You're going to have the cars that are going to save, some of the cars that are not going to save. And the question is, will it be enough? Is all the saving worth anything? And that's the battle that you play as a driver.
He's not saving.
Yeah.
He must feel that he has got enough fuel to make it to the end. or he believes he will need a splash at the end, and so he's going to keep on trying to build up a gap.
For sure.
Garrett Johnson, the 15, is on pit road. All right, 90 laps complete. We are just 35 laps away from crowning our Season 5 champion here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series.
Can't believe it's a whole season that's gone by, but we're going to be starting back up in February, so we're not going to be gone too long. So make sure to mark your calendars. Rick, do we have that date set yet for the first race?
First race will be the week before, the Wednesday before the Daytona 500. So let's bring up that schedule.
If my calendar skills are correct, is that the 12th? Or the 11th?
Nope, that's the 12th.
That's 12. Wow.
Now we'll be on live the week before that in the INRS Racing Series. I think we're covering the duels. We may not be covering their duels, which is the week before, but for sure, we'll be live at Daytona for 2 events back to back, Wednesday and Thursday. The Wednesday for the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and then the INRS Racing Series will be on Thursday.
Can't wait to get both those started back up. Got some things in the works here at IWM and whatnot, so make sure to stay tuned.
All right, so for sure we know that the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik has been saving fuel. He's now up to 4th. James Lowe out in front is not. I'm thinking he is planning on a splash of fuel, whether a caution comes out or not. But that's going to potentially put the 23 in a pretty good position.
It possibly could.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network.
Hi, America. I'm Mark Castro, President of Tech4Troops. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for making 2023 such an amazing year. We completed our mission, and it feels good to have another successful year behind us. But I want to tell you, this year, 2024, is our 10th anniversary. 10 years of doing this mission, and you have been so supportive of us. So I want to take a moment to say, please continue to support us. We're going to have an event or more every month. Please stay tuned in our calendar. Please stay tuned on our social media. Join us in the celebration of our mission and what we do. And we look forward to seeing you and having your support for our mission of ending veteran homelessness through bridging the technology divide. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
All right, welcome back to the IWM Broadcast Network. And we are bringing you here live the Tech4Troops Cup Series Championship event in Phoenix, Arizona. Right now, James Lowe is out in front. Here we are, lap 97, just approximately 28 laps to go before we crown that champion. Number of drivers are back there trying to play the fuel strategy game. We'll see how that all plays out. We have seen a number of drivers who have come in into the pits. Sammy Hero, Aaron Jackson, Andrew Pileshi all came in and pitted here around lap 90, 91. So we're thinking that they're trying to get their laps back. We'll see how that plays out. But John, I don't know. I think this is a battle of, does James Lowe think a caution's going to come out or he's banking on that, or what's the thoughts?
I guess. I mean, I think it's the game that he's playing right now. I'm not really sure. It's tough to say because you have drivers who are going to try to make it to the end, just specifically based off of fuel. You have some drivers trying to save. So what's the name of the game? But right here, I mean, looking at the drivers who are saving, I mean, Chuck Van Scoik is in a great spot, sitting there in P4. We'll see what he's able to do. Lilith Peters making her way back up to 12th. So maybe she has potentially something. We'll see. I know she's one lap down, but anything can happen. Anything can happen here.
Well, on board with second place Aiden Lucas. See how he's approaching this. So he does not appear to be saving. He's not saving. Let's look at Christopher Howell. He's not saving. This is very interesting. We'll see how this all plays out, because what we do know is that 23 of Chuck Van Scoik is saving fuel and really just keeping the same pace.
Yeah, he is. Which is what you need to do. You know, if you want to, keep up the pace and save fuel, if you can figure out a way to do that, I would, more power to you. And I think he has figured out a little bit of a weapon here and how he can do that. I mean, obviously, we know Chuck is, and that GOAT Racing team is one of the best fuel-saving teams in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. So we'll see what happens. But, Rick, we're 23 laps away from crowning a champion. James Lowe is out front. The 23 is trying to get around the 88. But the 23 put the bumper to him.
And right in his rearview mirror, Chuck has got the 06 of Chris
the 10
Morrell.
was sideways. The 10 was sideways in front of that. I don't know if you saw the 10, Rick. He's down there at the bottom side of the track. He was wrecking loose off the dog leg.
Well, those tires are way old. And now he's finding himself in front of his team captain.
He's looking to the outside of the 88. 88 cuts to dog leg. Right now the gap is about 2 seconds back from Chuck Van Scoik to the leader of James Lowe. That is your closest championship battle with Chris Morrell slowly creeping back into the picture. Really quick, let's talk about our biggest mover of the race. Is actually Aiden Lucas in that 10 car, up 19 positions. Well, maybe up 18.
But right in front, you got Christopher Howell. Also, he's up 12.
Yeah, absolutely great runs for them.
Yep.
Especially for Aiden.
Philip Vandertwick as well, plus 12. So good event. And Philip Vandertwick is one of those drivers who we've seen him season after season, and just keeps improving each time we talk about him.
Yeah, for sure he does.
So some of our viewers are noticing that we think that the 23 is probably good on fuel at this point, and he's now trying to find a way to get around and now charge up to the front. Question is the 07 good on fuel?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, right now, we don't know how much they're saving. I mean, we could pull up that fuel calculator and see what that says, Rick, with 18 to go. I'd be curious to see where they are in that stint. See if we could pull that information up. That fuel estimator. Yeah, right there. You can see it.
If you look down, you can see like Caldwell, he did 63 laps on his first tank of fuel, but we did have 2 cautions during that period.
Right.
We've had no cautions this second time.
Right. So, I mean, you're looking at, the top 10, really top 9, all 46, 50. The one I'm worried about is Chris Morrell, 50 laps on that stint already. That's just going to be tough. Chuck up to third. We'll see what he's able to do. 16 laps to go.
.24, 48 of Phil Vandertwick is on pit road. You know, these guys just don't want to go on pit road. I mean, it's such a, just putting in perspective, you know, look at Chris Worrell here. You know, it's a 14.68 second stop in the box, but it took him a full 54 seconds between getting on pit road and getting off pit road. So really 40 seconds lost, and you're doing a lap here in 29 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. Chuck Van Scoik is now 2.42 seconds behind the leader. Can he get it done?
He's working his way around a lap car of that's 99 with Marco Berube, trying to get by Marco. But that's not for position. That's just driver that's out there. Around. You're trying to get around him, yeah. Question is, can that 07 of James Lowe make it? Just 13 laps to go here. We've got one more commercial break. Let's go ahead and get that in, John, so we can finish this race uninterrupted.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the IWM Broadcast Network broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Right now, out in front and leading is James Lowe, but we have already started to see a number of drivers have to come back down onto pit road to get more fuel. First, we saw Chris Worrell on pit road and Aiden Lucas also on pit road. So the consensus up here in the booth is that unless you've been saving fuel, you're going to have to stop. And the 7 cars on the lead lap. Garrett Johnson is the driver who pitted the latest on lap 89. He has got enough fuel, but can the others?
It's going to be close. I'm very curious to see how much this 23 car has been able to save and see if they can make it, because they're all on 62 to 63. I was estimating they're going to have to come down pit road within 4 laps of Chris Worrell, which would be lap 8, coming to lap 8 or coming to lap 7. So we'll see if they pit. There is Sammy Harrell alongside his teammate, the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik. Is anybody going to make its way down pit road? But Rick, if this holds true, Garrett Johnston in the 15 might be in the best position to win this race if everybody has to come down pit road or people run out. So what's the decision? Do you come down pit road or do you run out of fuel? Try it.
I don't know. Let's go on board with the 07 as he's saving fuel.
Ran a 29.38 that last time by. Yep, clutched right there. All the way down. Probably going to clutch in now. Oh, no, he lets it roll more. Clutch out, rather. Yep, so he's saving fuel. Lilith Peters on pit road. She's 2 laps down out of championship contention as of now.
So the 07 is saving fuel. We know that the 23 has been saving fuel. 6 laps to go. to crown a championship, and it's coming down to the saving gas.
It does. There goes the 06. The 06 is now the first car outside of Garrett Johnston who would be able... No, I take that back. Sammy Harrell could make it to the end. He
Yep.
pit on lap 90. Out of the championship contenders to make it on fuel if nobody else pits and if they run out of fuel. So, right now, we got 5 to go. Rick, this could come down to the last few laps. I'm going to keep track of...
There's the 06
23.
getting around his teammate, getting his lap back. So now the 06 has gotten his lap back. The 43 has gotten his lap back. Now Chris Worrell, he pitted on lap 113, and he doesn't need to do anything but just drive it, but he's got 4 laps.
Yeah, and the gap has closed down to 1.1 seconds between Chuck Van Scoyk and James Lowe. That is your current championship battle right now, and Garrett Johnston has closed the gap down to 14 seconds. There goes Chuck. Chuck got around the 88 because the 88 came down pit road with 4 laps to go. The gap is closed down now to 1.2 seconds.
If these guys run out of fuel, Chris Worrell could find himself,
Oh, man.
because it's not about winning the race per se. For these guys, it's the best finish.
Right, and right now, that would be true. But here we go. We're coming to 2 to go. Rick, I don't think these guys are pitting. There's no way. They've been in it too long. The 23 is sliding all over the place. He's trying to get it. The gap has closed down to 9/10 of a second with 2 laps to go. There they are. The 07, the 23 for the championship. Here comes the 98 sideways. I'm watching that battle right there. The 98 is currently alongside the 23. Here comes the 91. The 98 needs to help that 23 not let this 91 get by. 07 just got on the radio. Not sure what he's saying. The 07 out of fuel? 07's out of fuel.
07's out of fuel. Chuck Van Scoyk winds up in the lead. He's been saving fuel, but this is the final lap. He's got to make it.
He might make it. I'm watching his telemetry. He might make it to the end, Rick, with his teammate behind him on a fuel strategy race. James Lowe ran out of gas with 1 to go, and who had 1 more is the 23. Chuck Van Scoyk is your 2024 Tech4Troops Season 5 champion.
Wow.
I can't believe he did it. I can't believe he did that. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And he said he was bad at this track.
Well, what he's not been bad about all season long is his ability to save fuel. We've seen it race after race.
His ability to save fuel, I mean, he looked great in practice. He looked great in qualifying. Started on the front row. And that car is going into the history books as a champion here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. And look, he has enough to even do a burnout, Rick. He had plenty of gas left.
Maybe not.
There it is. That was it. He had exactly 1 more lap.
Oh my
One more
gosh,
lap.
that's crazy.
It probably had under one.
He's got something.
No, he's back. He's got, I don't know. What a race,
That's
what
all
a season.
the GOAT racing guys there celebrating their win. Chuck's season win. They may have to push that car back to the pits.
They might. Unbelievable for that 23, for that GOAT racing team to win the championship. And they did it at their strongest point, which has been fuel strategy. You have a 5-car burnout going on right now. And here's your final results for tonight's Tech4Troops Cup Series Championship finale from Phoenix. Brought to you by Tech4Troops Cup Racing Diecast and the IWM Broadcast Network. Chuck Van Scoyk is your winner and your champion here, with Maxwell Caldwell finishing in 2nd. Garrett Johnston 3rd, almost made it up there. Ty Bostic in 4th. Justin Horton in 5th. Chris Farrell in 6th. Sammy Harrell in 7th. Andrew Pileshi in 8th. James Lowe in 9th. And Christoph Hall finishes in P10.
In 11th, Aaron Jackson. 12th, Aiden Lucas. 13th, Philip Vandertwick. 14th is Christopher Howell. Jeremy Flanagan finishes in 15th. Lilith Peters in 16th. Marco Berube is in 17th. In 18th, Chad Jones. David Watts in 19th. And Zach Allen in 20th.
In 21st, you have William Corinne, and with John Ledger in 22nd, Greg Stone in 23rd, and Justin Lewis in 24th.
All right, I think we've got our podium finishers. Let's go ahead and bring Garrett Johnson into the broadcast booth. Garrett, congratulations on your third place finish.
Hey, thank you very much.
Challenging race here at Phoenix with just a handful of cautions here. What were your thoughts here tonight?
No, it was kind of a mess from the start. We got off strategy on the fuel run there with the early caution and the issue with pit road not coming open for some people. So that kind of put us in an odd spot from the start. But we made it to about the halfway mark, and we were talking about it, and I decided I wasn't gonna bother with the fuel strategy game. I got nothing to lose, so I might as well just hammer down and try and split it, and it worked out.
It sure did. Yeah, we saw you. Certainly you started, back in 7th, but you're pretty much right where you need to be all race long.
Yeah, it was a nice change of pace. This year's been pretty tough. Just bad luck from start to finish, and just haven't quite had it in me this year. But nice to go into the winter break with a sweet taste rather than a sour taste.
All right. Well, congratulations on your finish. Any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, well, thank you guys, and thank you, Elliot, for running the league, and everyone that makes it possible. It's always a pleasure and always a super fun time. Shout out to everyone watching at home, especially my Aunt Andy. I know she enjoys watching every week. So with that, I suppose I will have to wait till about 8 weeks from now to see you guys again. So.
Yep, we'll be kicking off our season 6 in Daytona.
All righty, well, we'll see you guys there.
All right, that's Garrett Johnson finishing in 3rd here at Phoenix. He'll bring in our 2nd place finisher here in the booth. That is Maxwell Caldwell. Max, congratulations on your 2nd place finish.
Thank you, sir.
Man, Phoenix is just one of those challenging tracks to pass, and you did great. You started in the top 5, top 6, and we saw you pretty much all night long doing your best to stay relevant, and heck of a finish.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how that last yellow played out. Yellows were tricky tonight. I think with the update, they've shortened all the yellows by 1 lap, and here at Phoenix, you can't even catch the pace car before pit road opens. So some guys pitted when pit road was closed early in the race, and they got their blacks cleared, which kind of gave an unfair advantage to some of those guys getting to drive through us. And then under that green run, everybody was pitting. I had a lap left of fuel, and I come down to pit road, and as I'm already committed, like I can't back out, yellow comes out, and it black flags me for that. So I had to start all the way at the rear on that last restart. So that was very unfortunate. Lost a lot of track position that way. So then we just had to play the fuel game to try to get up here and get this 2nd place finish.
Well, you certainly did that pretty well with pitting on lap 63. You were able to do what you needed to do. Definitely a challenging here. Obviously, it's really hard to run your last race right at the point at which iRacing puts out an update like they did. But hey, 2nd place isn't so bad.
No, it's not. And I wasn't in the championship hunt. We joined in well past the halfway point of the season and found this league and found how awesome it is. And so we're just out here running, trying to gauge for next season, trying to get some notes put together. And definitely know you can save fuel here at Phoenix. That's good to know. I wished I could have restarted a little farther up in the grid where I should have been to have saved that fuel then, because I think I could have got the win with that.
Absolutely.
So that's the unfortunate part, but still a good night overall to have to restart, and I think it was 15th or 16th, and have all those guys pit and finish 2nd. Can't really complain too much.
Any shout-outs tonight?
Absolutely. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He's blessed me so much with
just the equipment and just the opportunity to meet these amazing people over here on Wednesday nights. Man, it's such a blast getting to run over here with these guys. Full fields, everybody gives room, everybody races hard. Like it's hard, respectful racing, and you don't find that much on iRacing. So what a blessing the Lord's given me to be able to come and race with these guys. So shout out to him. Merkel Racing Engines for being on the car. Todd wasn't here with us tonight, but he's a huge sponsor of this team and this car, and sponsored it for a few seasons in some other leagues as well. So Merkel Racing Engines, got to thank them for that. And just my teammates, Justin Lewis and Andrew Pleshy tonight. We tried to work together, and we just try to push each other to get better. So they did not have the nights they wanted. Justin was up front, got involved in an incident early, and then Andrew just pitted under that green flag there and still squeaked out. Looks like last car on the lead lap, so that's nice, but not the finish he was hoping for. But all in all, just good run with the team, and thankful for you guys with the broadcast and for the league owners, man. They've put on one heck of a league. I've been in a few, and this is by far one of my favorites, and I'm so excited to say that I'm coming back next season to be a part of this league, man. It's just, you don't find leagues like this often. It's a diamond in the rough, so love it for sure.
Thank you very much for the kind words, and we'll look forward to seeing you and your teammates next season when we open up our Season 6 at Daytona.
Absolutely. We'll see y'all then.
All right, that's Maxwell Caldwell finishing tonight in second place, and now we have the opportunity to bring into the broadcast booth our Season 5 champion, Mr. Chuck Van Scoik.
How you doing?
Congratulations on your win.
Yeah, it's some surprise. I'm in shock.
You may be, but we're not. We were we saw this coming down to a fuel mile race, and we've seen you all season long. You have been the king of fuel saving.
Yeah, that wasn't the plan. But once that last restart, I started behind the 91 who just took gas. He didn't take tires, so I kind of lost a little bit of low was good here. I feel like in the longer runs I was running them down, but once it got to that point, I was about 5 laps short. And then once the 88 got in front of me, which is James' teammate, it was Blockville. So I just said, you know what, and rightfully so, I'm not complaining about it. So I just I clutched probably the last 40 laps, and wasn't losing much speed. I was right with the guys and making passes. When I needed to get around someone, when it was getting a little too hairy, I would do that lap hard, or not clutching at least, and get around and then get right back to clutching. So yeah, once I knew that caution came out, at that point, I was going to go for it and see what happened. But then once, the circumstances presented itself, I said, you know what, this is what I'm pretty good at. So let me do that. And just sitting there lap after lap praying for no caution.
Well, we saw that early on. We did go on board with you during some of those laps and noticed that you were definitely clutching it and you weren't losing anything.
Yeah, I mean, I clutched. Well, I'd cut the dog leg, obviously the shortest path to, that's less fuel there. Not much, but every lap it adds up. And then going into get up to 5th right away once I crossed the line. And then once I got up and kind of straightened out in going in the 1, I just clutch it, get about halfway around the turn, drop it in 4th with the clutch in, release the clutch, and then it would help me turn, and then I could just gas it out. So wasn't losing much. And then in 3, same thing, just clutching, getting all the way to the bottom. Everyone was drifting up, and I was staying at the bottom. So again, shortest way around's the bottom. So it worked out.
Yeah, it absolutely did. No, this is we've talked about it in seasons past where you either just missed the playoff, one of the rounds, the playoff by a smidge, or you were close. But hey, you know what? Third time's the charm.
Yeah. The first season I was down in Atlanta for some Ford conference, and I missed the cutoff. Blew it at Coda by pitting 1 lap early, and I couldn't save enough there to get the win when I should have to advance. And then I missed Bristol. I ran 1 lap on a laptop and just rode the apron and got off. I definitely thought, and then that whole next round, I think I won every race.
Right.
Or so from that next round in the championship, I won every race. So it got to, I thought that was my chance to win the championship, and I blew it. Because then the next year you got Lilith, you got Chris, you got Howell, you got James Lowe, you got Nathan Harper. The competition went up. I made the championship last year and botched it again. Not saying I would win, but I came out of the pits and turned it, 2 consecutive turns. I think we were at Homestead. So it definitely, these 3 seasons, if you told me which one I should have won, it should have been the first one, not this one.
Well, but here it is. Congratulations on your win, and not only for the season, but you've been a fabulous sponsor to the league. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, obviously IWM, you guys for doing a great broadcast. Elliot, I always say when I get interviewed, dealing with the grown kids, every week. And to my teammates, I got a bunch of them now. Aiden, Christoph, Sammy, Aaron, Cody, and Ryan. Be talking with kind of still up in the air about next year. I got to talk with the guys. I obviously won the championship, so I can't say I didn't have a good season, but a lot of my guys didn't have that great of a season and a little frustration. So, I'll talk to them, see where they want to be. And then, and then to my company, Goat Race and Diecast, actually picking up a lot with these RC cars. So I have them in stock. They're very hard to get. Buy any of them, I give you 15% off. And then my promo code is Goat Racing 23. Now that I won, every win I bump it up to 20%. So, but since I have people at 15, I'll bump it up to 15. And then other than that, just everyone, the other championship drivers, James, Chris, and Lilith, probably out of the 4, not the one you'd expect to win, but I can say with total confidence, I'm the best at fuel strategy and strategies. And John Ledger messaged me earlier, he's rooting for me, figure a strategy out, and it fell in line, so it's just really excited and pretty pumped. Now I got to get up at 4:00 in the morning to go to the flea markets.
Well, good luck with that. Congratulations on your win, and hope to see you next season.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, one more shout out. The guy at work, he loves you guys. He watches it religiously. Glenn, I'm sure he was watching. He was asking me, how everything was going to go tonight, strategy and stuff. And he has no knowledge of NASCAR up until about the last couple months. So it's nice that not only is he getting in the race and he's, it's from what I'm doing, but he loves listening to you guys. He's always coming in and critiquing you guys, saying that was awesome, this was great. So, but yeah. Just thanks and appreciate it. And like I said, we're up in the air right now. I'll give it a couple days. I'll reach out to Elliot and then we'll go from there. And I get my own diecast now, my own custom diecast.
There you go. All right, there's Chuck Van Skuyk, our winner of our season 5 here at the Tech4Troops Cup season. John, it's been a heck of a season.
It has. I mean, it's been incredible to see the talent that's come out this season. It's been incredible that we had as much fuel strategy. I think this has been our longest or one of the seasons that we've had the most fuel strategy affected races. And so Chuck, congrats to you for, I don't know how you did that, but pulled it off. I got to ask, Chuck, did you actually run out of fuel or did you still have stuff in the tank?
No, I had stuff. When I crossed the line, I had fuel, and then I, clutched it and turned the car off, so I can do a little bit of a burnout. If I would have stayed in it, I probably would have ran out after the checker, probably on the backstretch. I had like 0.6 laps left in the tank.
Wow. Well, it was an amazing drive, an amazing season. Hopefully, everybody that's watched either live or on replay will subscribe if you haven't already. Like we always say, and make sure to tune in February. Rick, we got the Tech4Troops Cup Series, the INRS, coming out, Wednesdays and Thursdays for full seasons. Going to mirror the Cup Series.
You got it. All right, absolutely, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all of you who have tuned in each and every week to watch this broadcast, whether you do it live or you watch our replay. But thanks again, and we hope to see you in about 6 or 8 weeks. All right. From John and I and Chuck, thanks for watching, and we'll see you. Good night.
Good night, folks.